Wow. How did you get to be waiting before I even got here? That is awesome. I tell you. Anyway, I just really did want to apologize for yesterday's insane problems that I had. Nothing to do with you guys, obviously. I just. Good evening there, Jody. All right, for those of you who are just joining us on the replay, we're going to spend a couple of minutes just doing some housekeeping items while we're waiting for people to come in. And then we'll start the topic of the day, which is some more of handy hacks and hints for you guys. And I'm going to start with some from the kitchen, and we'll see what everybody else brings to the table. So while we're doing that, hi to Canada. Big hugs to you. Thank you for being here. It's always nice when I don't have to talk to myself, although you all know I could do that anyway. Jamie, good to see you as well, and let us know how the score goes. And Jody, thank you for being my admin yet again. For those of you who don't know, Jody works really hard in the background to keep me on track and make sure that I remember things. So big hand to Jody for being such a great admin. And she does it regardless of how she's feeling, which always amazes me. So thank you so much. So before we start, a couple of thoughts and prayers. Erin continues to hope to get home to a new home soon. I don't know if you guys know this, but when she went in for this treatment that she had to have for the pressure sores that she had, she basically, hi Nana, good to see you. She basically had to leave her group home where she was. And hi Jonas, good to see you, well done. We missed you. So what happened was that now she's in sort of getting attended to medically. She may not be able to go back to where she was, which would be heartbreaking because she had a private room. And the chances of her being able to do that again are pretty thin. So please, thoughts and prayers that she is able to get back. I'm hoping that she will. So Lauren continues to do a really good job. I'm very proud of her. She's behaving herself in a hospital and waiting to go back for skin grafts. Jody, can you remember when she goes back for that? I can't remember. It's pretty soon, I think. So that's amazing that she's done that. I think one leg is better than the other. You know, she'll go and have skin grafts done on one and then go back and have the second one done later, if I understood it correctly. And I'm sure Jody will correct me if I've got it wrong. Kerry won't be with us tonight. She's on a date. Jealousy will get me nowhere. And I was about to say, and an update on Becca, but here she is. So Becca, welcome and thank you for coming. It's always good to see you, honey. I hope that you're feeling a bit better today. Not that you're going to feel better for a long time, but I hope you're feeling a little bit better. And for those of you who don't know, yeah, that's what I thought, Jody, that one of Lauren's legs is healing super fast and the other not so much. So for those of you who might have missed it, it was the Brit's birthday yesterday. And for those of you who were Star Wars fans, May the 4th was with us, if you know what I mean, as opposed to May the 4th be with you. And oh, that's awesome that you got to hang out with a friend, Becca. I'm delighted to hear that. That is a really good thing for you to do for your settling you down. That's a great thing. I'm very happy. And what else have we got coming up? Beth's anniversary is coming up on the 10th. And then for those of you who remember Roseanne, it's her birthday on the 11th. So that's just a bit of catch up there. I don't think we've got anybody new here, but if you didn't get the notification that I was going live, then please make sure you press the bell. I think there's a bell on your screen somewhere, guys. Is that correct? Can you see it? If you haven't pressed that one, that's the one that will automatically tell you when I'm... Oh, all right. I will sure that Jody will write that down for me. You'll be 18. Oh, thank you, Jody. 18, isn't that wonderful? I remember 18 very well, Jonas. It was a good time. I think 18 to 22, I probably shouldn't remember, but I do. And I'm not proud of all of it, Jonas, but it was really good time. I think they were some of the best years of my life, quite honestly. So I just wanted to say, if you haven't subscribed to Dear Mama Sal, please do so, both here on YouTube and also on Facebook and Twitter. I always say Facebook and Twitter because that's where I'm inclined to put a lot of the notifications and news updates. For example, yesterday when I suddenly realized I couldn't broadcast, I took what battery I had left on my cell phone and just put up that quick video to let you know that I was not going to be able to make it. Right, so that's got that little bit done. So a couple of congratulations. For those of you who don't know, Beth actually is off playing bingo tonight and eating pizza, but she has done a great job this week. I don't know if you know, but she was really having eating disorder issues, and we challenged her that, she really liked this one button that I made, this one. And I said to her that if she could get her calories averaging 1,000 calories a day for a month, it was hers. I would pay for the shipping. And so far, on week 1, she's averaged 1,100. I don't know about you, but that is pretty impressive. Sakura, for those of you who know Sakura, she started on CrossFit, so it's that time of the year. And for those of you who may have met Chloe recently, not the original Chloe, the songbird Chloe, but the other one, she has put up a note. We said something on the broadcast on Friday lunchtime, and she said she was going to try to do something. And what I said to her is, please don't try. Either do it or don't. And then no excuses. Don't feel guilty. Just do it or don't. Hi there, Erin. Erin, I was just saying that our thoughts and prayers are with you for getting, hopefully being able to get back to your previous place of dwelling. So when do you think you will know? Sorry, I'm just going to add one more screen to my multiple screens that I've got going here. I've just realized. Sorry about that, everybody. I'll be with you in just 1 second. I was doing so well for a moment there, wasn't I? Yep, sometimes not so much. Okay, 1, 2, there we go. All right, Becca, so is anybody else got the problem that Becca has? That it's sounding tinny? I'm hoping that it isn't too bad, because if I cancel the broadcast and start again, it's going to be a bit of an issue. Hang on a second. Let me see if there's anything. Yeah, it might just be YouTube's having a moment. Okay, let's hope that it's not too bad. All right, just carrying on with great news from different people. For those of you, well, it's my usual headgear. Thanks for letting me know. Hi, Sharon. I don't think there's anything I can do. I think if I disconnect my earphones and put it back in, I might cause a problem as well. So I don't want to do that. So let's just go with it. And I'm sorry if it's annoying, Becca. All right, so carrying on the good news, for those of you who know Linda in England, she started walking. And for those of you who might have met Ireland, It's Ireland something or other. I can't remember what the rest of his name is, but he's going to join a writers group. So we've got a lot of people. We've got a lot of people doing a lot of good things. So if there's anybody that wants to be added to that list, if you want to commit to doing something, this would be the time to tell me, and then I will add you to the list. And each time we broadcast, we will give you kudos for taking a step forward. I have been working on trying to clean my decks, and the good news is I've been doing it. The bad news is I found out that my front deck has a major problem with the covering lifting. And I'm not the handiest person with a silicone gun or whatever I need. Yes, I haven't heard from Andy this week. No, I'm not listed yet. No, nowhere near. I really made a decision I was going to downsize as much as I need to first so that I don't have all that stress later in case I find something that I like and can move in a hurry. So I wanted to try and minimize the stress. I think you meant start, but I could be right. Okay, Canada. So, and listen to the wording here, people. I need to start. Now, does that sound like she's going to do it? So, Canada, you may want to think about the wording of that. Are you going to start or not? You see, that was a thing that we were talking about. Either do it or don't do it. I need to start. Yeah, I need to meet Brad Pitt. I need a lot of things, but will I get them? All right. So for those of you who are listening on the replay, this is Erin's update for us. She says, I have no idea. This is about whether she's going to be able to get back to the place where she was. I have to have those blood tests this week. Hopefully they are good so I can start being weaned off the medication and have the surgery and then heal from the surgery. Now then, on the good side, Canada says that now that she will start walking, that's good. So now we can add you to the list, please, Jody. And Erin just updated as well, not to mention that my blood sugar has cooperated, which means that I have to be, that my blood sugar has to cooperate, has done it. It has to cooperate, which means I have to be totally off the medication. Yeah, I got you on the list now. You don't have to be on the list at all. I don't have to put you there. There's no have tos. I would like to put you on the list and give you credit for going out and walking. All right, so Jody will make a note of that for us. All right. Jonas apologizing for having missed a broadcast. Jonas, I missed a broadcast. You went to Edmonton. I mean, you went across Edmonton. I've been across Edmonton. I spoke there once. In fact, they even invited me back now that I think about it. So, surprising. All right. Yeah, what was the book? And we are about to start the main topic, just so that for those of you who are getting ready for that. The Morrissey autobiography. Okay, that sounds like it's going to be worth reading. Do any of you have any feedback you want to give us in terms of the triggers subject that we were doing last week? Have any of you noticed? I had this thing happened to me yesterday, and I thought what I would do, with your permission, is bring my experience yesterday as a case study for you, because it was high stress in lots of ways, and I was coping really well. And then they started to, that's what Mr. Google's for there, Becca. Then something happened and it started to trigger me. And I thought you guys might want to work through it with me and see where you get triggered, whether we get triggered in the same places. I thought that might be interesting. Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about on the next broadcast. I'll do this on Friday lunchtime. I don't know yet because I'm still waiting to hear. They haven't been able to assess it yet. The guys that will assess it are not there today. So, but thank you for asking. You don't see what, Nana? All right, so Jody, while we're waiting for Nana to answer that. Oh yeah, that's why we have a replay. So you can watch it anytime you want to. You can listen to it while you are doing your artwork or do whatever. And in fact, a lot of people have written to thank me. And, it's amazing how much people have appreciated that because they don't have to miss a broadcast anymore. So as a time check, I have 6:45. Let's call it 7, would probably by the time we take a breath and actually do it. So, 17. Yeah, get your numbers right. So, so today, just to let you know, we're going to be doing handy hints and hacks. But before I do, here is your skill testing question. There is a product which contains all the necessary ingredients to keep you alive, healthy, vitamins, enzymes, minerals, and water. Any idea what it is? Anybody want to guess? Which product gives you all the nutrients you need? Nana's suggesting maybe a banana. Canada's got really smart. She's saying yourself. Are you a product, Canada? If so, I was not aware of that. I guess I'm a product. Oh, it was so cute, by the way. I got recognized in the store yesterday. That I will repeat the question. Sure. There is a product, Jonas, which contains all the necessary ingredients to keep you alive and healthy. It contains vitamins, enzymes, minerals, and water. Basically, if you only had one thing left in the world, you would want this one. And the answer is wishful thinking. Jonas goes potato. No, wishful thinking, Jonas. It's honey. Watermelon is a good guess, but it's honey. So here we start with the handy hints and hacks at 19 minutes. Yeah, so just know if ever you if ever you want to only eat one thing, try honey. So the hints I'm going to give you today are ones that I use myself or I have found that other people have given to me. So here we go. I didn't know this, but did you know that if you're making mashed potatoes, do any of you like mashed potatoes? Yes, that's right, Jonas. It never expires. So, you can keep it forever. So for those of you who make your own mashed potatoes, after you've boiled them, put them in a warm frying pan to dry out. Did you know that? words, don't immediately start to mash them, right? Just put them in a warm frying pan. You don't want to cook them anymore. Just the frying pan should just be warm. You're not trying to cook them more. You're just trying to keep them warm so that the moisture evaporates. Oh, so Nana's saying she puts a tea towel on them to take that moisture, right? So I think, yes, there are different ways of doing it, but I thought I'd just say the way that I heard, which is you can just put them aside in a warm fry pan, let the moisture evaporate, and then mash them. So I thought I'd mention that one. Anybody else? We've had Nana add a few things here. Anybody else got anything else? Their favorite tricks about mashed potatoes? I know that I've done it occasionally. Adding cream cheese to them really tastes good. I don't. Have any of you ever tried that? I love doing that when I'm doing twice baked potatoes. I will take them out of the shells, and then when I mash them with some cream cheese in it and lots of pepper, and it tastes really good. Now, how many of you like to cook onions? Yeah, it really does make them special. Becca's saying it makes them special with cream cheese. You bet it does. Canada has my problem. Whip them with a blender cake thingamajiggy. No, a cake whipper thing. Yeah, I love that. All right, so for those of you who like cooked onions, I didn't know this, but apparently when you cook them, it's a really good idea to put a little bit of oil and butter in the pan. Did any of you know that? Yeah, Canada, I love those sort of moments. I have them all the time. It's a dudinkus, is another one I use, right? Thingamajiggy, yeah. So apparently add oil and butter. See, Nana always does that. I didn't know that. Now then, did any of you know, and I didn't know this, but I passed it on to Benji, that if you've got a pan that's meant to be non-stick and is sticking a little bit, take some green onions and cook the green onions in the pan with a bit of oil and completely keep coating the whole pan as you cook. Spring onions have got something in them that for some reason will put a film on your fry pan so that things don't stick. Did you know that? And by the way, Benji, when I told Benji that, he loved that. How many of you like gravy? Yeah, it is, Becca. It's fascinating that it works. It's just like, really? Yeah, I'm hoping that a few of these will be good to know. So anybody like gravy? And I say that because, yeah, okay, poutine, absolutely, right? We Canadians love our poutine. So here's what I found, Canada, and anybody else that likes gravy. I try and make a roast at least once a week on a Sunday. And what I do, I actually make a little bit more than I need for the meal. And I keep it in a mason jar in my fridge. And so what I do is during the week, I can just add a little bit of gravy to, for example, if I'm making myself something to eat and I can't be bothered to make gravy, I know I've already got some. Yeah, it actually works really well. And, it's just like just a couple of, it lasts well in the fridge. All you would do, it's inclined to thicken up though. So be aware of that. So I just put it in the magic bullet and blend it quickly with a little bit of water just before I heat it up. Well, it depends how much you have, Nana. And what always amazes me, and I've noticed this every week, that a good meal is actually has less calories in it than you think. So Jonas is busy is thinking about going vegetarian. I definitely am not ready for that in my life. There are two things, actually, yeah, I think steak would be my downfall. I do like my steak every now and then. Okay, so anybody else got any kitchen ones? I've got a few more coming up, but just don't let me. Yeah. So what I say, if you like yours more watery than thick, then just literally put it in a jar. And I do this a lot. I don't know about you guys. Just put it in a jar with a bit of extra water and just shake it up. Labels, labels, labels. Help me there. What did I do that created that, Becca? I'm not sure I understand. Steak and lobster, yeah, lobster would be. But lobster, yeah, that's right, that would be difficult, especially if you live on your coast. I think that's my favorite of all time. If I really want to go out and splurge, that's what I like to eat: steak and lobster at the same time. So the labels, like for containers, to know when you're keeping stuff, to know how good it's good for. Actually, you know what I do? It's interesting you should say that, Becca. I just keep mine in the fridge for the week, and on Sunday I empty my fridge. All right, so Nana's saying the mashed potato, she adds parsnip into hers. That's sort of like the white looking carrot, for those of you who don't know what parsnip is. Oh, apparently one white sweet potato, not parsnip. Okay, so it is sweet potato rather than parsnip. All right. Um, I'm actually going to do spiraled vegetables tomorrow. Have any of you done that? I did it on the barbecue last year, and I'm going to start barbecuing again tomorrow. So I really love doing that. Now, here's the thing. But anybody else got any cooking ones that they want to share? Oh, I forgot to show you my art for the week. You will do barbecue. Yes, I will. I have an electric barbecue. Yes, Sharon's saying when she buys peppers, onions, and etc., she cuts them all up and freezes them. Yes. Um, I also cut up my lemons, limes, beetroot as well and freeze them. Nana's saying Rick does the chicken wings under the broiler until they're brown and then puts them in the oven. Use the egg timer for what, Jonas? can't remember what I told you to use an egg timer for. Oh, the one that drops in? I want to tell you. Yeah, I've got one of those ones that you actually drop it in the water. Plus, I've got one of those bits of porcelain that you drop in and stops boiling over. I want to tell you, they are well worth it. If you like boiled eggs, definitely a go-to. Quickly, just before I forget, this was one of the paintings I did this week. I wasn't doing a lot this week, but I did this one. And it was funny because I liked this one and I did another one that I didn't like, but the viewers on Friday did, so I'm going to show it to you anyway. This was a second one I did. I don't know if you can see the colors in there. Okay, Canada, give us a cooking tip. Yeah, I want to tell you that egg thing you drop in the water works really, really well. Good, Canada, give us the tip. I like doing these. You know, it's amazing. I don't think we realize how many tips we have, quite honestly. I'll have to look. I think you can get it on Amazon. Yeah, and you know, I've got this little ceramic disc that you can just throw in any what do you call it, pot, and it'll just stop it boiling over as well. I did not. It's porcelain, I think, not ceramic. Yeah, I've also used a wooden spoon, but somebody gave me this one, so you know I had to try it. Yeah. All right, that's good. Now, just in terms of, for those of you who saw the buttons last week, I thought I'd just show you that I did a few more. And by the way, I was thinking you could hang them on and make them into a pendant. You know, so I don't know whether you guys, I just thought they were cute. You know, so they're much bigger than a regular pendant. So okay, Jonas, give us a tip. And this one is the one I'm holding for Beth. When she's finished showing off this month, then we're going to send this to her. Right, Jonas, give us the tip. Which one? The button? I don't know. I thought I'd try it because I thought it shows more of the artwork. All right. You know me, I'm always playing it. Yeah, what's the next thing I can try playing with? So, Becca, if you're still there, I wanted to let you know that, you know, I am so fed up with procrastinating. I have got one mug with your name on it and one mug with Andrea's name in Berlin on it. And, you know, my goal is now to get those two mugs out. I don't know why I never got them out. They've been sitting there for the longest time. So no, I have not forgotten about you. And what I wanted to know, no, I knew that you would understand that. Wow, I didn't know that. Jonas is saying the spoon you use to scoop out spaghetti will likely have a hole at the bottom in the middle of it. That hole is actually used to measure out one portion of spaghetti. Did you know that? I got to get me one of those. Jody says, when baking a cheesecake, after the cooling time is up, leave it in the oven to cool with the oven door open just a crack. It will help keep the top of the cheesecake from cracking as it cools. Good idea. Oh, Erin says, I think I lost mine and I moved. I thought I'd packed it, but it never actually got to my room. I know that feeling. Okay, I've never had one of those special spoons, but I might just get one now because that's very useful. I also hear, Jonas, that if you take a water bottle, a regular one that you buy in the store, the size of the top of it is the right size for one portion. So literally, if you take your spaghetti and just put it over the top of a water bottle, whatever drops into the water bottle is one. Does that make sense? Did I explain that properly? Yeah, I haven't got it here, have I? Yeah, okay. So now Lionel, who is the other half of Jody, Lionel says that serving suggestion is laughable. In other words, if you really like your Getty, you probably want at least two of those, right? What I'm saying is disciplined people would get away with one. Others will go, well, where's the other? The rest of it. Half a box for him. Yeah, I understand, Lionel, totally. I must admit, one standard serving, yeah. And double that up for a regular serving. But it's good to know, because how many of you cook too much spaghetti? No. Is there such a thing as too much spaghetti? And Jody says it's a standard portion for a Smurf. Oh, your spaghetti holder has a measuring thing on top of it. That's so clever. I used to have one that had different holes on it. And, do any of you know what I'm talking about? It was like a ruler and it had different size holes. I love leftover spaghetti. Yeah. Tupperware. Those were the days, weren't they? Good. Any other cooking ones? By the way, I'm going to be holding these fairly regularly. So as you go along your day and you think, oh, that's a good one, just keep a note of it somewhere so that we, because that's what I'm doing. As I go about my day, I'm thinking, oh, that's a good hint for people. And I'm just writing it down. So if you guys would do the same. Yes, spaghetti is better the next day. And I tell you what else I really like. I like a spaghetti pie. Have you ever done one in a bundt cake pan? One of those round ones with a hole in the middle of it. What you do is, this is called really decadent, guys. You actually line the bundt cake with bacon. And then you add in the spaghetti and your primavera stuff and things like that. And, some sauce. And then and cheese, of course. Duh. And then what you do is you just bake it. And then when you turn it upside down on a plate, just add some more cheese on top and, put it under the grill. Sharon's asking me the question about the frozen lemons. Aren't they mushy when thawed? What I do actually is I throw them in my, I use them like an ice cube, Sharon. I use lemons mostly for my smoothies, to stop bananas going brown and apples. This is an apple and orange mixture, for example, and I don't want it to go brown. So what I do is I add a quarter of a piece of lemon in it. All right, Jody's saying, when measuring honey, that well-known food that we have found out has everything you need, when measuring honey, coat the inside of the spoon of the measuring cup with Spam or a bit of oil, and the honey will easily glide out and not stick to the measuring cup. Now, Yvonne went shopping today, and you'll never guess what she brought me back. Yes, grapes as ice cubes, and definitely in wine. It tastes really good. And there are the strawberries for frozen strawberries in a drink. Works really well. Yvonne, I don't know if you, how many of you are going, yeah, I could do that. Apparently Betty Crocker has come out with cake in a mug at last. So, and all you have to do, I think, is add liquid. You don't have to add anything other than liquid. So I'm going to be trying that this week. Maybe tonight. Yeah. Do a video of it. Yeah, it doesn't look very difficult. By the way, this particular one is called a caramel brownie. How many of you know that's got my name written all over it? Now, for those of you who want to have brownies occasionally, like during the week, I found out if you mix up a cake mix and put it in a mason jar, and then just at night you can just pour some into a ramekin and cook it up. I've done that often. You know, I know if I cook a whole cake, I will eat a whole cake immediately, right? Some add sea salt on top. Is that the pink stuff? I got the pink stuff as well. Yeah, so it's definitely not from the sea. You're quite right, Becca. It is Himalayan. Yep, but it does taste. I don't know why. I think I like the color of it. You haven't seen it, Jonas? We like to keep you educated here, Jonas. You have, okay. Yeah, that will work as well. Thanks, Sharon. I had a feeling it probably would. I do have sea salt in a grinder as well. There you go. It's also a good net word, Canada. One of those. All right. So let's have a look here. Now, technically, Jody came up with a technical hack this week. You have a Himalayan salt lamp in your room. Okay. I think I've seen one of those. Very relaxing. I don't know if any of you know that. How many of you are over 50? The reason I say this is that, and I really thanked Jody for passing this on to me, which is that in your settings of your Android, and I believe also in the iPhone, you can actually get an enhanced font. Did you know that? Where it actually shadows the letters so they're easier to read. So let me see if I can remember it correctly. You would go to accessibility, I think. It's under that. So go to your settings and then accessibility, and then it will say something about type or fonts or whatever. Yeah, you knew that already, Nana. That's great. But just in case somebody didn't know, I thought I would share that because I thought it was a nice hack for somebody whose eyes, like mine, are not doing too well. Yeah, it's under accessibility, yeah. So now then, how many of you buy carpet fresheners? Okay, Jonas is saying he would also recommend turning on the blue filter. It's better for your eyes, is that right? All right, Erin's saying it's under vision settings. Thank you very much, Erin. I appreciate that. Under accessibility, all right? So the blue filter makes it easier on your eyes as well. Oh, Sharon, I'm so glad you've been enjoying that Google Assistant thing. Yeah, I like it too. It's just like, I use it mostly for reminders and what's the weather doing, right? For example, I was wondering what I was going to cook tomorrow, but I wanted to actually cook something next week. And I wanted to see if the weather was going to be good next week. So that's, yeah, I've definitely been using it a lot more just for quick comments while I'm in the kitchen. So for those of you, do any of you like to have carpet freshener on your carpets when, before you vacuum? If you have carpets, I have area rugs now, but it's the same principle. This is what I found out one day. It's like, you guys know that I have a lot of fun shopping, right? I am the world's, I really try to make shopping a fun experience. And one day I was looking at the price of talcum powder in the dollar store, and it's ridiculous. It's like half the price. And I thought, well, what on earth can it be made of? Well, it's made of the same stuff as carpet freshener. And I thought, So I bought a big one, and I've been using it on my carpets before I vacuum. I'll put it on at night, and then the next day I will vacuum them. So over the night, it has a chance to sort of get into the tufts and things. And then I vacuum it the next day. But you'll be amazed how much dirt comes up, greasy dirt. It goes on white, and when it's vacuumed up, you'll be amazed at the color. So apparently I'm a very dirty person. But what I like about it is the room smells so good. And for like pennies on the dime, it's a really, really great price. So I thought I'd mention that one. Anybody got any carpet ones while we're talking about that? Canada says, I put essential oil on my carpet. It smells great when vacuuming lavender. So you just put drops of it on, Canada? How do you do that? I've heard about putting essential oils actually on, if your vacuum still has a bag. I think the most of them are solid now, but actually put a couple of drops of essential oil on the bag. Don't pour it on a puddle. No, that's not a good idea. Right? Put a little bit in a spray bottle, with some, I think with rubbing alcohol, they suggest. Or put a little bit on a cotton wool thing and just dab it in a couple of places. Oh, that's really good. Thank you, Jody. Jody's saying if you don't want to contribute, but you'd like to support DearMamaSal, for those of you who use Amazon, did you know that if you use the link, either Canadian or US link, that it doesn't cost you any more, but the fact you come in through DearMamaSal actually helps me. So I don't know if any of you would like to do it that way. It just literally doesn't cost you anything. But Amazon will support me because of that. So I thought you might like that for those of you. I know some of you would love to donate, but don't necessarily have the ability. Oh yeah, and that's a good point. Thank you, Jody. Which is when you land on the page, you don't have to buy anything. You don't have to buy anything there. You can just go anywhere you want to go. It's just a way of getting in. There you are, you see, Sharon. So just cut and paste that link and just next time you go in. Well, that's why I thought I should mention it, because I was thinking some of you might not have the money, but if you really like the work we're doing and would like to support us, then that would help a great deal. And it doesn't cost you anything except one moment to actually cut and paste a link. So that's good. We'll keep mentioning it. So you're asking, is the link anywhere on a page? No, not at the moment, but it's a good idea. But we will put it up Jody will have it in her list of things to actually she'll put it on my list, right? All right, so never mind what we haven't done, Erin. I thought you would like to know for future, and I would really appreciate it. I find it's a lot more difficult now that I'm retired. I'm amazed. I didn't realize just how expensive it was to be a vlogger until I retired. And, before, because I was always earning money, it wasn't an issue. But really, I do notice it a lot now. So now then, how many of you are still struggling to get the algae off your deck or your patio furniture? Actually, Canada, I'm sorry. That it doesn't have to be any of the. If you look under every single vlog there and go in the see more description, Canada, there are all sorts of Amazon links in there. You can use any of them. Makes sense. Whether, it might be books that I recommend or whatever, or kitchen equipment. Yeah, it's on every single one. So you don't have to cut and paste, actually, now that I think about it. Just hit any of them and go in that way and then go shopping. You don't have to buy anything that I recommend. That's not it. It's just that the fact that you go through that door helps me. Thank you. All right, so you just pressure wash them this week. I just wanted to let you know that if you happen to have, do you know what borax is? Do they have that in the States? I think it's washing soda, right? I just literally take... Okay, Sarah. Hi there, by the way. I didn't see you come in. All right, let me do the algae one first, and then we'll get to the grout. So borax, what I do is I go out with a, one of those pans you put in the sink, the it's sort of this size pan, a deep one. And I huck some borax in there and some hot water. And then I go out with the brush and I dip my brush in that and then scrub. And as it dries, it does a great job. I want to tell you something. It really works well. So I just thought I'd mention that. It's that sort of time of the year when people are cleaning up. And I don't like using, bleach and things. All right, so has anybody got a handy hint for Sarah? She says, I'm trying to get her grout clean in one bathroom. She knows that it's mold, but she can't seem to be able to stop the growth. I mean, obviously, I think what they suggest is pack it with bleach. And it only happens in the one shower and the same tile. Yeah, I would say that that's because a dishpan. Thank you, Sharon. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Yeah, anybody else got any suggestions other than bleach? I heard get a bleach with a toothbrush and work it in. Yeah, but it sounds to me like it's deeper than just on the outside, Canada. I could be wrong. So you've tried bleach, vinegar, Tilex. Tilex, yeah, that's a good idea. Preferably not together, by the way. Don't mix those up, in case anybody's thinking that's what you need to do. I don't know. You know what I would do, though? Sarah, do you have a Home Depot anywhere close to you? Hand sanitizer is a good idea. Peroxide, yeah, also pretty powerful stuff. Well, what I'm thinking about, you might want to go down to the Home Depot. Depot, I like that. And be the pathetic female. You know, I find that works really well. They really do like to help you. So I sort of would stand there. I'd go to the tile department, where they got the tiles. That's a good place to start, and go, I'm seeking after knowledge. Don't go on a Saturday. Go on a day when they're not going to be busy. Nana's saying a paste with baking soda, spray with vinegar. Yeah, but it sounds like she's tried vinegar already. They say peroxide kills mold. You know what I would do? I tell you what I would do, actually, Sarah. Do you have a syringe of any sort? I've got a feeling that mold might have got it in behind the tile, and that's why you're not killing it. I mean, my sense is cut out the tile, find out how bad it is behind there, because you could find out that the drywall behind it has got moldy. Okay, so Nana's asking, does anyone have a do-it-yourself laundry stain remover? Again, borax works really well. I found, I don't know why, the oxygen ones work pretty well, but obviously you've tried those, I would think. Well, you just get it in the next time you go shopping, Nana. So, funny enough, I use borax for so many things, including cleaning silver. Yeah, I was thinking, Sarah, I don't know whether this makes any sense, but what if you actually injected that bleach mixture into the grout, injected it so it gets behind the tile? I don't know why I'm thinking, something tells me that you've probably got mold in the drywall behind it. Yeah, OxyClean works really well. Any of those Oxy anythings work pretty well. I'm sure Nana's tried those. So anybody else got a home remedy one? Ah, yeah, the old-fashioned soap. I know what you mean. Yeah, even... Okay, so it's hard grout. I've got a feeling, do you own your house or do you rent it? You see how people are trying to be helpful, Canada. Don't mess with them. You guys are so cute. Okay. The Fells Napa soap. There you go. Sorry. Yeah, that stuff, great. that's what they used to. When I grew up, that's what we used to get the stains out of clothes all the time. Thank you for checking on that. You see how good she is. We rent the condo. Okay, so therefore, if you don't own it, I would actually tell the landlord that you think there is mold, and see if they can cut out the tile and check for you, because you should not be in a place that has mold growing. Well, you know something, Canada, it took a lot to create this environment. I had, when I first started, people wanted to do all sorts of things, and I kept saying, no, it's not what I want. And they kept saying, yeah, but it'd be more fun if you did this. And I'm going, it's not what I want. And if you want to do that, then start your own channel, because that's not what I'm here to do. I really had a sense of what I wanted to create. And I thank you for the kind comment. And for those of you who are listening on the replay, Canada said, I love how relaxed and open it is here. We're not arguing, we're just healthy debates and advice. Yeah. So I think, though, Canada, you need to be aware that under the Tenants Act, you have the right to live without mold. All right. So you can actually go online to the tenancy people in Canada and check what you ought to do. Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed for you. Thanks, Jody, if you could make a note of that so we can follow up with you next week, Sarah. All right, so they have quite a bit on. By the way, that borax mixture is really good for cleaning up siding and also patio furniture if you've got algae on it. Now, are you ready for this one? I'm going to have a little rant and rave. Are you ready? So, do any of you buy deodorant? And if so, do you prefer solid or gel? Yeah, and you know when I get on a rant, right? Are you ready for me to rant? Okay, so here we go. Some of you use gel, some of you use solid. It doesn't really matter either way. But I'm inclined to buy the gel. Does it work on wood? So here is the thing. This costs $3.47 in my local store. Got it? I want you to do a bit of research this week. Now then, this is the men's version. Please notice the different size. This is $3.18. And here is what I wanted to advise you of. This is 45 grams for $3.47. This is $3.18, already a saving, for 108 grams. It is twice as much for exactly the same amount of money. Now, I'm going to try it to see whether it tastes, I was going to say tastes terrible. Okay, so it's got a fairly strong perfume to it. So I would probably be thinking about, what can I cut it in with? Moisturizer? Or I wonder how long that stays. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention it for those of you trying to save money. Twice as much for half the price, or for exactly the same price. I think that's worth knowing, don't you? And of course, if you find them in the dollar store, pick them up, you probably save even more. All right. Hope that helped one of you. Yes, good idea. Good idea, Canada. She's saying when you're at home, use the men's, and when you go out, use the women's one. I like that. Yeah. But I'm thinking about what if you mixed it with moisturizer? Would it still work? Yeah, so check to see if there's an unscented one. What a marketing scam. I want to tell you something, Jonas. You will be amazed. Women pay extra for almost everything, right? Do you know, Jonas, for example, do you know why women never have their cell phones with them, except when they've got a purse and they're out? Because women's trousers don't have pockets. Very rarely, unless you're buying really high-end type ones, I don't know why, but they don't. And that's why women don't, always carrying their cell phones in their bra or somewhere else, because we don't have pockets to carry them in. That is why women will need exercise watches or I'm a slob watch in my case, more than men. Men carry their cell phones with them all the time, so therefore they don't need one. We need one because we only go and find our cell phones, right? We're not wearing it the whole time. So those sort of things, I think not many people know about. How many of you take medications on a regular? Yeah, we don't have pockets. How many of you take medication on a regular basis? Or the pockets are too small. Yeah, they're like this deep, Jonas. Any of you have got pockets that are sort of like, they're just for show. They're not real pockets at all. Okay, so here's something I'd like to recommend. This has saved me more than a few times. You know when you fill your prescription, you bring it home. What I do, and I don't know if this makes sense to any of you, what I do is I take a week's worth, like 7, or depending on how many you take a day, and I put them away in I've got a special bottle that's my emergency bottle. And I just put, I take 2 medications at the moment. So as soon as I come home, I will take 7 of each and put them in the emergency bottle that already has some in it. And I put the emergency bottle away. It's nowhere near my regular medication. And I don't know if any of you have had this thing where you go, I really meant to go and get this refill done and life got in the way. And then I think, oh, I've got extra. Right? And I keep them for that very reason. And I just go to the emergency bottle and I will take them from there. And I've normally got probably over a week's worth in there. Simple to do. Just get into the habit of doing it. And the first time you forget to refill that prescription in time, you will thank me. Now, Jonas, this one, yeah, it actually works really well, Jody. And you know me, I mean to go, but I forget. And this is one that's purely for the women, so just bear with me a second here. But no, not necessarily. It has to do with undies. Oh, why are they on the opposite side, Jonas? Just so that we can educate everybody so they can be really smart next week. Sarah's saying they're on the opposite side so you can tell the difference. Yes, I know that the pharmacy will give you a week's worth if you've forgotten to go to the doctor, but I actually prefer to have them at home. That's my plan B, Nana, is to go to the pharmacy. Wow, there's a nice little bit of interest. All right, Jonas is telling us the reason that women's buttons are on the opposite side is that because back in the day, men used to dress themselves. Actually, that's not true. Men were dressed by valets, and women would typically have their servants dress them. Quite honestly, I think men used to have valets as well. Yes, Judy, we don't have that in Canada. We can't just refill our prescriptions. We have to physically go to the doctor and get face to face with the doctor to refill a prescription. I don't know if you knew that. You used to be able to just phone up and say, "Hey, can you just tell them? Can you just tell them to refill my prescription?" You can't do that anymore. Yes, you remember it from Downton Abbey. Yes. I fill mine every 3 months. So things are slightly different in Canada, is what I'm trying to say. Now, Nana's saying we can if it's not a mental health pill. That's interesting. My doctor won't let me, he wants to see me every 3 months. Maybe because of my age, I don't know, but I can't refill it by phone anymore. I haven't been able to for years. But that's interesting that you are able to. All right, so now then, I want to talk a bit about bras for a second. Is that okay? Not going to upset anybody? How many of you would like to wring a few people's necks because no two manufacturers make bras the same size? Yeah, I think that my doctor actually wants to see me so he can check my blood pressure and stuff. Yeah, Canada, it drives me insane. It's like, if I want to buy a bra this size, it's a bit like, going to McDonald's. I'd like it to be exactly the same wherever I go, right? I want it to taste like this at McDonald's, whatever McDonald's I go into. I find that, the sizes in bras are totally different from one place to another. Yes, so Sarah's just confirming what Jonas was saying. Wealthy women in the 13th century did not dress themselves. And since most people were right-handed, it made it easier for maids to button for their mistresses. Okay, yeah, very interesting. I tell you, the things you learn in this channel, it's amazing. Yeah, so what I wanted to say, though, is this is my question to you. Do you normally buy one bra at a time, or do you buy a couple of bras at a time? I want to know how people do this, because I thought I've always wanted to have this discussion, and I thought today might be the day to talk about it. Three at a time. Yes. Jody's saying it depends what's on sale, right? Now, here's the thing. If you buy 3 or 4, how many of each color do you buy? Yeah, I've gone back to buying good ones as well. I found that they last longer for some. I don't know why. The reason I'm talking to you about this is because I found that the reason I find I need to replace bras is because they're not white anymore. Do any of you relate to that? It's not that they don't fit, and it's not of anything else. It's just the color got dingy on me. Do any of you relate? Jody buys 2 black, 1 neutral. You see, this is what I was going to suggest. Maybe think about buying neutral rather than white, or buy 1 white, 1 neutral, and 1 black. You can buy, Even if you don't put them in the dryer. Hi, Kim. Welcome. Yes, so Sarah's saying she buys mostly nude colors, right? Never white. So yes, and a really great. And so this is the thing, because I noticed my black bra looks brand new. Why? I can't see the change of color in it. So I thought I'd just talk a bit about that you don't need as many black ones as you do white, or just the thought. All right, now how about your undies? And there's another trick I wanted to tell you. Think about buying one bra at the change of each season. So if this is spring, it's time for a new bra. If this is summer, it's time for a new bra. And then just spread them out so you get one new color, 4 times a year. Which one do I need next? Oh, I need a new black one. Okay, so it's spring, I can go, or it's summer, I can go. Yeah, and I just add it to my shopping list because I shop at Walmart a lot. But what happens then is you can buy a high quality one and it's not going to break the bank. If you suddenly have to buy 3 or 4 good quality ones. Nana says she buys one to get one free. Well, I've never been able to do that. No, I don't. I don't think that you are boring at all. No, but I buy Warner bras, or they have some good quality bras in Walmart. You're talking about the George bras, the ones that Walmart make, Nana? Hi, Beth. How was the bingo? Beth's saying she buys sports bras. Now, the other thing I wanted to say is that, if you buy one, every season, you won't get the hit as bad. The other thing I find Warners are comfortable as well. The other thing I was going to say is, what I'm trying to say is don't try and buy 3 or 4 at the same time, because that breaks your bank. If you just buy one, and by the way, if you find one, here's my next hint. If you find one that fits and you're going, wow, that is comfortable, before you wash it too much, take your camera and take a picture of the tag. And preferably a picture of the box if you can. What I do is I take a picture of the box, and then after I've worn them, if they're really comfortable, I will go back and put a big check mark on it. So the next time I go, I can go into my phone and I can find that picture and go, okay, this is the one I need in a different color. Does that make sense to anybody? So it's $20. That's the same as you would buy in Walmart. Yeah. Every time you find a bra that you just love, it gets discontinued. Yeah, I quite agree. I've got one that really has lasted me for the longest time, and I can't replace it. And I'm so upset because it was really a totally well-fitting bra. Well, it's what I'm saying, Nana, is they're not any cheaper than the ones I buy. I pay about $20 for a good bra. All right, so what about your underwear? How many of you buy that in bulk? I mean, what I'm saying in bulk. Do you buy 6 at a time or 1 at a time? How do you buy them? Oh, the straw thing fell out. But thank you for thinking of that, Nana. I appreciate it. You're very kind. Yes, you buy a 10-pack from Walmart, okay? Yeah, I buy Walmart bulk as well, but I don't buy the Walmart ones. I buy there's another brand. that I buy. And they're normally around the corner. Hanes, yes, Hanes are very good quality. So, but how often do you buy new underwear? Winners, I didn't know that. Yeah, Hanes are very comfortable for me too. Just my size, yes, very, very comfortable as well. Wow, you see, now listen to this. Beth saying she buys every 5 years. Wow. And Jody saying every 3 months she buys new. So, it just depends. But again, I was thinking, maybe think about it in terms of, yeah, I love just my size. They are just so comfortable. But think about it as a routine. All right. So maybe summer and winter, you buy some more. So because I think those are things that women are inclined not to do for themselves. And I would encourage you to do that. Right. Anybody else got any hands about the house or anywhere else? And I'm really going to ask you to start keeping track of these because, the more we can come up with, the more people we help. You can buy just my size online. That's good to know. Yes, Nana's saying when she had kids at home, she always bought for them, not for herself. I totally understand that. That's a great idea. Put a fresh dryer sheet in a sock in your drawer, in your undie drawer. That's a great idea. I roll up aluminum or aluminium, depending where you live, and throw them into a sock and tie it and use it in my dryer. It works really well. You don't have to buy dryer sheets anymore. It's amazing how well it works. You know that one sock that you never did find the one for it? So Beth uses a cap of fabric softener in a spray bottle and the rest with water and use it as a room deodorizer. Awesome. Yeah, that works really well. I've heard other people mention that one. That's a good one. Just a cap. You don't need very much. For those of you who are artists, I found, okay, no problem. I found that rubbing alcohol is really good for getting acrylic paint off your nails, off your clothes, off your carpet, off your floor. If you've got acrylic paint, you're painting the house or something, and you've got a drop of acrylic somewhere. All right, so Beth's saying you can also use a cap full of fabric softener in a steam cleaner. Really? Yeah, I put dryer sheets in my suitcases and in drawers. Yeah. If I put a suitcase away, I'll throw a dryer sheet in it before I put it away. It works really well. Good. Anybody else got any? And all right, the dryer sheets keep deer away from your plants. Do you know that dryer sheets are made with a wax coating? Beth's saying that when she smokes, she carries a fabric sheet in her pocket. That's interesting to counteract the smoke smell. Yeah, put them in your car. I actually used to buy, in the days that I smoked, I used to buy a box of um, fabric softener sheets and put them in the car. Just a whole box. You know, worked really well. And, you know, I'd buy a box at the dollar store and just put it in the car. Did you know that if you are having a problem with mosquitoes, did you know that talcum powder works really well? It's one of the things I brought with me from Africa. That if you take talcum powder and just dust it on yourself and your face and your neck and everything, mosquitoes don't like talcum powder. There's something about when they're proboscis, if that's the right word, you know, that they don't like the feel of it. So it's just an interesting way. You're saying exhaling into a fabric sheet? Yeah, Nana suffers from trigger bites. I don't know if any of you have ever had that. Yes, Beth, why is that? Beth is saying dry a sheet in a pan that has food stuck in the bottom works. So do you just put it in there with some water, or how do you do that, Beth? You see, dryer sheets are coated with wax. Well, that's what we like to hear, Sarah. We like that you're learning a lot because, you know, sometimes you have to hear these things 2 or 3 times before you will try it, but we'll keep doing them so we can come up with great ideas. So you soak it with hot water and then just put it down on the pan. I found as well, for those of you, any of you got flat top cookers? You know, I am surprised about this one because I've had people visit me and they're going, "What are you doing?" And I'll just take a paper towel and wet it and put it down on top of my where I've got burnt on stuff. You know, if I've got any burnt on stuff, I don't normally have a lot, but if I do, and I just literally put a wet paper towel on there for, you know, while I'm tidying up the kitchen. And by the time I've finished, I go back and it lifts off anything that's there pretty well. Olive oil works great for cooktops, really. So if you put a dryer sheet on your hairbrush and brush your hair, it'll stop it going wispy. That would be the wax again. The reason I say that is if you want an interesting room freshener, if you take those, you know, those wax pellets that you can buy. Trying to think who makes them. I use them as room fresheners. I'll put them in some water and like in a jar on a coffee warmer and use them as room fresheners sometimes. It's just wax, really. You know, very highly flavored wax. Not flavored. Well, you know what I mean. Yeah. Dryer sheets inside your furnace. That to me would be dangerous. Scented. Thank you, Jody. That's the word I was looking for. Dryer sheets inside my furnace. I'd be very scared to do that. So it would need to be on the right side of the filter. Yeah. So you'd have to really know which way the air is flowing to get it on the right side. By the way, I use dryer sheets inside. Yeah, that's what I was scared about because they're flammable. So I wouldn't put them in near my furnace. But I do use them in all my air vents. Yeah, exactly, Kim. Yeah, I use them. I lift up my air vent, put a dryer sheet in, and then put the air vent back. And they act as a filter. And they, and every now and then, it makes it really easy just to drop a couple of drops of that lavender oil that somebody was talking about. Thank you, Jody. Hi, welcome back, Jamie. We've had all sorts of hints and tips, Jamie. So, feel free to listen to the replay and catch up on some of them. So you see, the thing is that I don't think we realize how many, ceiling fans. How many of you know about cleaning a ceiling fan by putting a pillowcase on top of it? Actually, to put a pillowcase on top and then slide it off so that the dust isn't falling all into your bedroom, for example. And how many of you going, that's what they made Swiffers for? I know you get. You all know how to clean Swiffers, right? I mean, it is my second most favorite video of all time is how to wash Swiffer dusters. So if anybody doesn't know, I will tell you quickly. Yeah, that's both Sarah and Jody saying you learned how to do them from me. I'm still using the same ones. Can you believe it? To me, it was just like once I got it right, and I learned how to actually shake them and do it correctly. I'm going, I don't need to buy any. I'm still 5 years later using the same Swiffers. Can you believe that? Do not. I started off by putting them in the washing machine. I hate built-in obsolescence. It drives me insane. That they make these products where you're forced to buy extra things. I hate it. So I'm always looking for a hack how not to do that. And I must admit that I think that video ranks really high in where? In Germany, if you can believe that. Am I still using that automatic Lysol dispenser? No, I don't know where it's gone. Well, you see, you bought the egg timer as well. Okay. You see, I sort of, I don't know if it makes sense, Sarah, but I will do things and I will see things and I go, the peeps will like that. So I will go and get it just so I can test it. And if I like it, I'm pretty sure you guys will like it. Does that make sense? So I might not like 10 things, but every now and then I go, oh yeah, that's good. I like that one. And some of you, Nana and Becca, around long enough, have any of you ever bought a pineapple corer? Because I remember that from those days as well. I bought a pineapple corer, a cheap plastic one, knowing it wasn't going to work. And it did. And then I tried it on one of those small melons, and no, small watermelons. All right. And it works brilliantly with a small watermelon as well. You were watching back then? Are you serious, Canada? I still use my Sunbeam cooker. What did it cost me? $26 or something, Jonas. To me, that is one of the best things I have. I use it every week for something. I'm either cook spaghetti in it or I cook a quick meal. It's like a frying pan followed by whatever. I love my little steamer. Yeah. Oh, I tell you what I found out this week. There's sink strainers. You know what I'm saying? You drop it into the sink. The way to cut open a coconut is throw it on the cement. It's the fastest way I know to break open a coconut. Forget about getting anywhere near knives and machetes or anything. Just take the thing and drop it. Pick up the pieces. Severed a finger, yikes. Okay, so the small sink strainer thing. I keep one of those as a mini strainer for things like, for small amounts of maybe a bit of gravy or something that you think's got some lumps in it or whatever, or a sauce that you're mixing. I find it really useful because it fits beautifully on a cup or something like, or a mug, and you can use it if you don't happen to have a tea strainer. So obviously, I keep separate ones. Ones are for the sink and some are for doing that. I didn't know about that. Hang on a second. I learned about standing a pineapple upside down on its head. So the leaves are down so that the juice flows through your pineapple and it won't be mushy. So it won't be too mushy. Oh, you mean after you've cut it? Yes, I found that as well. I do the same thing. I don't know if any of you, I have a plate that has ridges in it, if you know what I mean. It's like that. And I will put a watermelon upside down on the plate so that the water can drain down. Same reason. Oh, when it had the leaves on. I didn't know that. That's very interesting. So turn it upside down while it's ripening. Tell you the things we learn. Thank you, Canada. Yeah, I believe you. For some reason, I didn't see that. So next time I'm down there, I will talk about it. For how long do you turn it upside down? Okay, until it's ripe. Yeah, so as it ripens, turn it upside down. Excellent to know. Thank you. So if you buy one that's a little on the unripe side, just when you bring it home, turn it upside down. Very good to know. Awesome work, people. I'm very impressed. All right, so before we get rid of the subject, anybody got any others? And please remember to keep notes. So next time we have one of these, that we can keep them coming. I think in the summer, there are normally some great ones in the summer. By the way, did I ever do a video on how to do an ice bowl? I really should do one this summer. Well, It's beautiful, Sarah. It's so impressive. Actually, I can tell you guys because you're smart. Okay, so you start with a bigger bowl. All right, got it? And put about half, fill it with water. Okay, got that idea? And then what you do is you put a second bowl inside it. Got the idea? So now you've got the water displaced to the outside. Is that making sense? Actually, I told a lie. Start off by just covering the water about an inch deep at the bottom and freeze that. Start that way. Got it? Then when that's frozen, take it out, put a second bowl in, and then fill up the difference. And then what I do is I float flowers in it. You know, like rose petals or whatever. You can also float fruit in it if you want to. But flowers just look so pretty. And then you freeze it. Oh, by the way, when you got the second bowl in, you need to strap it with tape. That's exactly what I use it for. It's perfect for serving shrimp or fruit. Looks wonderful in it as well. Okay, so then you need to strap it so that the second bowl holds down, right? Make sense? You actually strap it before you put the water in, now that I think about it. And then you just freeze it again. And when you want to use it, you just undo it all, take the bowl out. By the way, I think I put Pam on the outside of the bowl so it would come out easily. And then you've got this incredible looking bowl with flowers in it. And you just put it on a serving dish and then fill it up with shrimp or fresh fruit or whatever. And it just looks, I mean, people just go, oh, that's so pretty. You go, yeah, it is. Oh, is that difficult to, yeah, hours and hours, you know. But it does, it really does look great. It's well worth doing, very easy to do. So I think we should do one with those sort of hints. My mom, bless her heart, long since gone, but my mom used to say to me, food always tastes better when it's served well. Would you agree with that? And so there's something about, you know, I think there's something about the presentation of it that really makes it so good. I'm actually okay. Hang on. My dad used to just fill a metal bowl with water, makes big round blocks of ice because he didn't like the little ice cubes. Then he uses an ice pick just to break the block of, yeah, exactly. You think he's crazy. Yeah, but it works for him. Yeah, I think, Erin, everybody has their own way of doing things, right? And, you know, I can understand your dad's a big guy. You know what I mean? It's like too artsy fartsy for him to use an ice tray, right? He'd rather go there and hack the thing. Because that's probably how his daddy did it, Erin. Right? There was a reason why ice picks were around, you know, because that's how people did it. I can remember, I know this sounds amazing. I can remember when we didn't have fridges. I can remember that the iceman used to bring a block of ice to the house. Can any of you, I doubt anybody here can remember that. And I can remember living with my grandmother at one time, and she didn't have indoor plumbing. You had to go out to the outhouse. I can remember that too. It's funny, isn't it? The things you remember. Actually, I wanted to do one broadcast about memories like that. Becca, are you still there? And a salt, yes, barrel for raw meat, yeah. Yeah, the Iceman used to bring a block of ice, and it used to go into like a chest, a wooden chest thing, and then, that's how you kept your milk. Yeah, Becca, I saw your note about you like this sort of broadcast because it's not too serious. I understand that, but there are an awful lot of people that are being helped by the serious ones as well. So we will keep mixing them up a little bit. Yes, I remember the milkman bringing bottles of milk to the house. And you can still get that today if you want it. All right, if you want completely clear ice cubes, you boil the water before freezing it. Really? Sarah, you can still get milk delivered like that. But how many of you know people would just steal it off your doorstep? We don't have the sort of decency that's what really amazes me. We never think twice about leaving milk on the doorstep or leaving anything on the doorstep because you knew that was for somebody else. You were taught. You had a little door built in the end. Yeah, exactly. It is amazing, isn't it? But, today, in today's society, it's different. Yes, how about, that's a good idea. I think I will schedule a broadcast about reuse, recycle type one. What do you think? Any of you got any good tricks on that one? You use milk bottles for vases, right? I'm certain we could come up with a whole stack of interesting reusable things. So start keeping notes. Yeah. Good thinking. We like that. Yeah, Sharon. That used to be a very famous joke. Sharon says somebody asked who my daddy was, and I said it was the milkman, and my mom was so embarrassed. The thing was, it was true. You poor thing, Sharon. Sometimes the truth is very painful, isn't it? I think they gave the milkman a bad name in those days. But then something tells me that they must have had a reason for coming up with that story, right? Lordy, that's fun. Anyway, I do want to thank you all for being kind enough to tune in this evening. It was a very difficult day, as I said yesterday. So what I wanted to do, if you would like it, is I'd like to do what happened to me as a broadcast, so we can go through it and see where the different triggers were. Because I think if you could see what happened to me, it would actually show you trigger upon trigger, and how I was. It was like, how many triggers am I going to have before I lose my cool? It took quite a few. And even then, I ended up not losing my cool. I stayed polite, but at the end of it, I felt abused. And I want to talk about that because I think that's something that one of you asked about. I think Sarah or somebody talked about this issue about inner child stuff. And it was a really interesting thing that I ended up with a feeling of being disrespected. Yeah, Kim, romper room. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. So you've done a great job, everybody. Thank you so much for sharing so much. I am certain, by the way, if you're watching this on the rebroadcast, please make sure that you, it was, Canada, it was you that asked for the inner child stuff. Okay. Oh, I can use yours? Great, Erin. Yes, and that's the thing, you see, when we use it as a case study, then people can see where the triggers are. Good night, Becca. All the best, honey. Thank you for being here. It's like these triggers, the more you look at them, the easier they are to notice. And that's really what if you guys can see that, it'll save you a lot of trouble. Yeah. And it's not that it takes a bit of work, obviously. Oh, I want to tell you something, Kim. There's a whole lot on here. You'll be amazed how much was on here. We did a whole lot of cooking ones at the beginning, and then we moved into some money-saving ones. And it was funny. And I want to thank you so much for letting me do these live on YouTube, because I was thinking about something the other day, and I thought, no, I should really do that as a vlog. And I went, wait a minute, all the broadcasts are vlogs now. You know what I mean? Because the vlogs stay there. So I don't have to worry about doing a separate video. Maybe I could, even do a live broadcast of me trying to cook something. No, maybe not. But what I wanted to say was it really makes it so much easier to have it so that people can watch the replay. Excuse me. I'm amazed, as I said, how many people have written to me and said thank you. Well, my problem is I would need to change how I do it. I would need to do a setup differently because I would need to have an external camera, I think. I know this is going to break your heart, Jonas, but I don't have pictures from it. Actually, I do have some. I lost them when I moved to Canada. And the ones, actually, to be fair, the ones that I do have are packed already. Because, I'm downsizing. So they are packed up. I've got it. No, I've packed those up as well. So, yeah, not in the near future, but when I move, I will be able to do that for you. If you remind me, sort of, once I've moved, remind me. And when I unpack, I'll try and find some. But, the question that I would have is, what is your interest in that? Do you want to see what I look like? Or did you want to see, where I lived? Or what was it about that would be of interest to you? Good night, Nana. Say good night to Rick as well for us. You want to hear the stories. Yeah, that's right. I know that. Yeah, I can, I tell you what you do, Jonas. All right, here's how you can help me. The next time we get close, it's a bit late now, but the next time we get close, sort of to about 7:30 or whatever on a thing, give me a year, an age, like say 18. All right. And then I will think back, what do I remember about being 18? Or you can say 5, right? This will be your moment, Jonas. Where was I? What do I remember about it? How's that? Would that be fun for you? Something, may you live in interesting times. I think I have had a very interesting life. Okay, I can tell you right now, with 7 minutes to go, my biggest memory about 18 was my 18th birthday, Jonas. And I remember my mom coming up to me, and I was in tears. I was in my bedroom in tears. And she said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I'm 18. And she said, "So?" I said, "Now I'm going to have to be sophisticated." And my mom got a lot of things wrong in her life, parenting wise, but this one she did right in a way. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I'll let you judge. But she burst out laughing. And she said, "Sallykins," because that's what she called me, "Sallykins, I have a feeling that as long as you live, you are never going to be sophisticated. So don't start worrying about that now." Yeah, I was so worried about having to be sophisticated. How many of you can imagine that? Because, I was a bit of a tomboy, and, my hobby was riding horses and getting dirty. It wasn't getting all dressed up and all those sort of things. So it really broke my heart that I was 18. And by the way, Jonas, you know that I am a bit of a MacGyver. That's what Jody calls me. Well, hang on a second. I'll come back to that, Canada. But today I was busy trying to clean my deck, and it was, it just wasn't getting. How many of you sweep your deck with a vacuum cleaner? Yeah, it took me a while to realize that I didn't have to change, I must admit. Yes, Canada, it's interesting you talk about my energy, because there are quite a few people who mention that my inner child is still quite evident. Oh, you use a broom? Why would you do that? It's hard work. I take out my shark and vacuum up my deck. So to me, it's like, you like sweeping. You're very, it's very useful as well for riding on. To me, it's just like I'm always looking for an easier way to do things. It's really weird, isn't it? You find it therapeutic. Come down my place anytime you like and sweep for me. I'd be more than happy, really. There's got to be more to life than sweeping a deck, in my view. You know what I got? I'm dying to, in my craft experiment this week. I'm going to cut out one of those little foam things that you can hold a pendant on. Do you know what I mean? It looks like a mini bust of somebody. See, another person who likes sweeping. I really, why aren't you guys my neighbors? That's my question before we go. Here's my question. What are you going to learn this week? Let's see if anybody comes up for this one, Jody, so we can add them to the list. What do you want to try this week? Sharon's saying her deck's 28 feet long. Come and sweep it anytime. Yeah, that's how I feel as well. All right. Sarah wants to try and find a house. Okay. Sweepers unite. A subsection of DearMamaSal, sweepers. Right. And just so that we know, is there anybody else that wants to get on the fitness train here? When I say fitness, you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to exercise, whatever. If so, you do know that we've got a subsection of people that are doing that. So if you want to join in, you need to let me know. Yeah, Jonas, do you understand what you do? Roll up some aluminum into a ball, normally about yay big. Huck it into a sock and tie a knot in the sock and then throw it in your dryer. You will thank me next week. All right, so Canada and Kim. All right, so could you write to me at DearMamaSal@gmail.com and tell me so that when I'm doing that part this week, I can add you to the list? It's inside a sock. Yeah, it gets rid of the static. You don't need dryer sheets anymore. I didn't think it would work. Hi, Carrie. How was the date? It won't anymore, Jonas. You're going to love me for this. The first time I tried it, I really didn't think it was going to work, Jonas. I got to tell you something. But since then, by the way, if you've got a couple of old socks, single ones, or a pair of old socks, just put one sock inside another, or put one aluminum ball and then another one. You know what I mean? And just, I have about 3 in mine. Okay, so it actually, in Canada, I want to tell you, it put a filter on your thing because you said how. And, YouTube doesn't like that word. So would you like to... Did you mean how? Is that how people make tinfoil balls smooth? Yes. That is. It becomes incredibly smooth from hitting the side of the dryer all the time. It compacts it and it's just very shiny. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like that word, Jonas, one bit. Thank you for making me chuckle. I'm sort of looking at it going, why did it put a filter on that? And then I saw the word and I went, oh yeah, that would be why. Trust you to cause trouble, Canada. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. What was your favorite tonight? The only one that's up for a challenge is Jonas. He's going to try the aluminum foil thing. Yeah, I want to tell you something. Typos always, but Mr. Google had a little problem. You enjoyed it a lot. Good. I hope you learned a couple of things, like when to buy bras, Jonas. Yes, you know something, Sharon? I don't know if you've noticed it, but since we've been on YouTube, we're not getting trolls. We're not getting bad language because it gets filtered out. We're not getting, it's like there are so many reasons why I prefer doing my broadcasts on YouTube. I think your landlord should be working on that tile, not you. It sounds to me like you've got mold behind the tile. But definitely, if the land, have you got children in the house? Yeah. What I'm concerned about, though, is because if you have, let me tell you something, that when I first bought this house, I had a feeling there was something wrong behind the tile in the bathroom downstairs where my tenant is, Yvonne. I ripped the whole of the tile off to have a look at it. And I was horrified. And I just replaced everything and then retiled it. Yvonne and I retiled it together, actually. And we're still quite amazed that what a great job we did. So contact the landlord, yes. Make sure that you say, I think I've got mold behind a tile and it's not something I can control. I think the tile has to come off so we can check it. And, that's the landlord thing. It's not something you should be doing. Yeah. You know what I would do, Sarah, is I would put that in writing rather than make a telephone call. Do you have a way of emailing rather than making a telephone call? I'm not as stupid as I look. All right. And the thing is, then you've got a paper trail. If you ask more than 3 times, if you have to ask more than a couple of times, I would take that documentation to your local tenants, what do you call it? Act people. Or what I would do is say, I'm asking you for a 3rd time, and then at the bottom, CC a lawyer. Even if you don't send it to a lawyer, just put CC, my lawyer. Because, it's against the law for him not to do anything, I believe. And just say, I've asked politely twice. I'm now copying my lawyer. That normally gets some reaction. By the way, do you have a lawyer? Yeah, you see, this is the whole thing about most people don't understand. Yeah, most people don't understand what their rights are. Jody, I had to help Jody with something that happened to her in the middle of winter, in terms of just advising her, do you know that you're covered under a law? And I was pretty sure the law stood in the US as much as it stood in Canada. And I just told her, what conversation she might want to have with her landlord. And I believe it got fixed the next day. So, it's like sometimes you just got to know how to do these things in a way that gets some action. You see, they will continue to, no, you can't afford a lawyer. That's okay. So then just, they don't know that you can't afford a lawyer. All right. It was fixed immediately, right, Jody? You just have to know how to word it. And I'm quite good at that. So to me, it's about let's make sure that we look after one another and those sort of things, right? Because some people, they don't want to cause a scene because maybe I'll get thrown out. But there's a difference in this one. That's how slum landlords live, right? Is that nobody complains to the tenants board, whatever. So, to me, you need to know what your rights are. And if any of you are renters, you need to know what your rights are. And you can find that out just by typing, tenants' rights USA. And there there is, I believe, or put tenants' rights, and your state, whatever state you're in, because it may change from state to state. But there is a basic level of things that they have to do. They might not be able to fix things immediately, but within so many days, something should happen. And if it hasn't, then you need to do something. It's by state. Okay, fine. So good stuff, people. Great broadcast. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'll see you tomorrow at 3:30. Now, did any of you fill in the Mother's Day questionnaire? Because that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, because I think Mother's Day in the USA and Canada is in a week. So we're going to be talking about the presents that you want to have and the ones you never want to have again, and the best present you ever had. All right, so that's what we're going to be talking about, and hopefully we'll get some fun going tomorrow night as well. This is Dear Mama Sal saying thank you so much for being here. Jonas, great to see you here. Big hugs to you all. It's your birthday tomorrow? Next week? Bye, Kimmy. What date? It's your birthday on the 14th. Okay, I'm sure Jody's got a note of it. Good night, Kimmy. Have a good night, and good night to all of you. I will see you tomorrow, and be gentle with yourselves. And by the way, keep notes on those hints, right? Have a little booklet or something so that the next time we do one of these, we've got a lot of them going on. This is Dear Mama Sal saying thank you for being here. And bye-bye for now, when I find the right buttons. And until then, I will just keep talking aimlessly because